What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for the latest episode of Attack on Titan. And I must say, this episode was a goddamn fucking masterpiece. I know I've said this before, and y'all are probably sick and tired of me constantly saying it, but this is how I feel, honestly. I am once again left speechless. Once again, this series sucks me. Like, when we saw what we're gonna have next, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna learn more and more. Maybe we'll see how Grisha got into the walls, maybe how he ended up losing his memories and everything. I was not expecting that we found out who the Smiling Titan was. I was not expecting Ymir. Which, I mean, granted, I'm not that completely surprised with Ymir. We kind of knew that we had the whole thing with Ymir back in Season 2. And I don't know when they say Ymir, they're talking about the same Ymir we know, that Ymir, or there's two different Ymirs. I'm assuming they're talking about the Ymir we know, the one we saw back in Season 1 and Season 2. But I have to say, the Attack on Titan mangaka is a goddamn fucking genius. He has added, with this one episode alone, I don't know how many chapters this was in the manga, I would assume a couple, maybe one. Maybe one, maybe two chapters. I don't know. The manga's monthly, so it might have been like 2 chapters. It could be 1 chapter. It could be 2 chapters. I don't know how long this. I don't know how many chapters is adapted from the manga. But he added so much to this. Added so much to season 1. A part of me almost kind of wished that the hype season 1 had was still felt today with Attack on Titan, because I know there's probably a lot of people that watch season 1 that just don't care about the series anymore. Because I saw this video, well, I didn't actually watch it, but I saw this video where, like, I think they were talking about Attack on Titan. They said it went from overrated to underrated, which I consider is very true. We all remember what happened back in season 1, and this is probably one of the coldest, this will be probably one of the longest cold openings I've done for my reviews, just because I got a lot I gotta say. I got a lot to get off my chest right now before we delve right into the episode, and I do my little thing already, and I do my usual shtick. But we all remember back in season 1, like, now granted, I was not watching anime during that time frame. You guys know I started watching it. I got into anime around mid to late 2016 when I came back to the States after I started getting into some anime YouTubers and I wanted to start watching animes. Started with FMA when I was in Bahrain. When I was in last couple months of my Bahrain, I got the Blu-ray of the entire series, the original 2003 series. Watched it, and when I got home, I went immediately on Netflix and started binging series. You know, there was Tokyo Ghoul, Sword Art Online, all these other series. And then I found Crunchyroll, and after some time, I finally got into sub-anime with Mob Psycho 100 and Berserk and all that shit. And 91 Days, of course, as well. That was another show that I ended up with, but the ending, yeah, not so much. That ending, yikes, yeah, that ending killed the series for me. I mean, I still ended up thinking the series was great, but anyway, I'm rambling off. We all know back in season 1 how big that series was, how huge Attack on Titan was. It was a fucking phenomenon back in the day. There have been very few animes out there that have had the success and the appeal and the worldwide acclaim and just focus on this series as Attack on Titan. Now, I wouldn't go so far as Attack on Titan was probably on the level of what happened with Naruto or Dragon Ball Z in the States. It was probably the closest they got. Anime has gone to getting back on there since the days of Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto back in the 90s and early 2000s with those 3 series. I was kind of there, like, even as someone who did not even know what the hell anime was or wasn't even watching it, I still heard little rumblings and stuff about this series. And I remember when we got back when we were in Bahrain. This was around 2014, 2015. Yeah, around it might have been 2014. I remember when we got back to the States during the summer. I remember it was late at night one day, and we were watching Cartoon, which by that point it was Adult Swim. And I remember when I first laid my eyes on Attack on Titan, the opening, I was like, "What is this series?" I didn't keep watching it, but I was just mesmerized by Japanese animation and just the look of that opening, because I'd never seen anything like it. Because remember, cartoons, while I was watching, I ain't got shit on this. They were so different. back then. They were like nowhere near had this much style and detail and just to them like Attack on Titan had with that original opening with the you know, that whole opening. But I almost wish that hype that was following season 1 like a cheap suit continued to this day, because man, Attack on Titan has grown so much as a series since season 1. Like, season 1 I thought was amazing, but I would probably agree with some people, but I'm done with some people where I'm like, this isn't the second coming of anime Christ here. This is not one of the greatest shows of all time. And even though I love season 1, and I did love season 1, I thought it was fucking phenomenal. It wasn't. I wouldn't put that on the same level as a lot of the other animes I was watching around that time when I binged the whole series on the dub back in the days when I would download episodes of a pirated websites on my phone and watch them like after I got home from school or while I was in the middle of lunch, you know. But yeah, I almost would, because if that same hype, and I know why it took so long. They had to make sure there was a decent amount of chapters left for them to animate from the manga, because the manga's monthly. But man, and I heard like apparently season 1 was like caught right next to the manga when it finished up with the female Titan arc. But man, if Wit Studios did not wait as long as they did, and they didn't take like 3 years or 4 years for season 1, yeah, I think it was around 4 years for season 2 to come out. And season 2, that was a step in the right direction. It got better. But I wouldn't still put that on the level of some of the other animes I was watching, or other animes I've seen. Like, I wouldn't put on the level like what I see, like Hero Walker or something. Even though you guys might remember, and you guys saw me praise it a lot throughout my reviews. But we saw a lot more of the mystery. What really got me in Attack on Titan was that mystery. And then season 3 came out. And you guys could tell from my reviews, I started out being nervous as hell because I heard a lot of bad stuff about the arc, about how boring it was, and how a lot of people dropped the manga. And you guys saw my reviews. You guys know that I was like, "What the fuck? Why are people dropping the manga? This is the most interesting shit. I don't give a fuck about the Titans. I just want more of this mystery." And that's what I got. And you guys know how much I was praising and just gushing all over Attack on Titan when it was airing, both the sub and the dub. Speaking of the dub, whoa! Attack on Titan this week on Toonami was fucking fire, ladies and gentlemen. This was the episode where we had the epic speech. And I gotta say, J. Michael Tatum, you sir deserve a fucking raise. Because man, the speech is even more epic in the dub, in my personal opinion. And actually, somebody commented on my Twitter not too long ago, if I can find the tweet. This person said, no, J. Michael Tatum deserves an Oscar or a Golden Globe for this. I couldn't agree more, good sir. And then we learn more about the mystery, we learn more about the Titans and everything. And then we get to here, the second half of season 3. Shit starts getting down. We learn more about what's going on. We saw everything happen with the story in the first half, but here we have, Reiner, Berthold, we got Zeke saying, like, you're not the only one that has been a slave or a victim of that man. And we see all these little hints, and then we find out what's in the basement. We find out what happened. We find out that this place has been isolated. And it's not like the village isolated, it's legit fucking isolated. We find out this whole time Attack on Titan's been on an island. And we find out that the Smiling Titan, the Titan that killed Aaron's mom, that was the catalyst, the spark that would light the flame for Aaron's revenge, for his rage, for everything that drove him to where he is now. In season 3, we find out that the Smiling Titan was Grisha's ex-wife, or other wife. I don't know what we would classify her as, honestly. This adds so much more to season 1 and everything in season 1. Like, this adds so much to that season. And even season 2, when Aaron had his rematch with the Smiling Titan, this adds so much to the series. I don't know the Attack on Titan's name, mangaka's name off the top of my head. But my God, is that man a fucking genius for what he did here. Making the Smiling Titan so close to Eren, so close to his father Grisha. It's fucking ingenious. The irony is fucking astounding. A mother killed a fellow mother. This is drama right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is pure poetry. Like, this is something, like, people would say this is something ripped out of Shakespeare. Which I guess I would agree with that, but I'm not a fan of Shakespeare. Like, this is fucking genius. Like, legit. And if Attack on Titan can keep this up, I might actually put Attack on Titan in my top 10 favorite animes of all time. Currently, I would put it at number 11. But if they can keep up these god tier episodes like this, shit. Anyway, so yeah, woo, that was long. I just had to get everything that I felt when I first watched the episode. You can see it a little bit when you see my reaction. That I was like, I need to get this shit off my chest before I do my review fully. So anyway, enough talking, enough me rambling, enough me talking about this episode, how much it changes the series and how it just makes the series so much better as a whole, and it adds so much more to season 1. Overall, probably makes season 1 and season 2 better with this twist alone. I'm going to stop before I keep going, and then this whole review is just 20 minutes of me just not even top of the episode. Enough me rambling, enough me going off. Let's just jump right into this review. Let's just jump right into this, guys. Holy shit, is there a lot to dissect? So, hopefully I can come off mildly coherent in this video. Granted, I'm actually recording my review, this part of the review actually, today. I filmed my little 20 or 10 minute long cold open, literally minutes after I saw the episode. Then I went to bed because it was pretty late, but I just had to get all my initial thoughts out. And then I was like, alright, I'll do the review tomorrow. So, here I am. Little peek behind the curtain for y'all. Anyway. So we started this episode off. Got to see some shots of just some other people throughout the city. Got a car, very 1920s-ish car. Buildings, and then we got Grisha with his sister just kind of staring off into the distance, and then the title for Attack on Titan pops up. No opening this week again, which I like. Most of the time when they don't do openings, they usually just put the title against a black screen, and then bam, we get right to the episode. This one, they just plop that sucker right in the middle of the episode, and then they just played the credits over the episode, which I said that was kind of cool. Anyway, so they're walking over to find the airship. You got some asshole be like, "Move it, devil bloods!" And he's like, "Oh yeah, these damned fuck, I forgot the names. What were they called again? The devil bloods are it's something to my tongue. Anyway, so you got the people that Grisha these are pretty much like the enemies of you guys might remember in my reviews I mentioned how someone's gonna take those armbands they're wearing it and make it some connection to Nazis or some shit. Well, I was actually partly right on that front. Where now, and realistically, you could probably make it Eldians. There we go. Eldians. You could honestly make a point for how Eldians are treated like how Jews were back in the concentration camp back in the 1940s. Honestly, you could make an argument. Now after watching this episode, you could honestly make an argument for that. So I guess I jumped the gun a little bit. I was like, oh, watch, everybody's going to assume this is Nazis and some shit. Well, looks like I wasn't completely off. Anyway. So they get to where they're, so she's like, oh, it's like, Grisha, she probably was like, can we get the fuck out of here, please? And he's like, no, aren't you used to this? Come on, it's just over there. So they get over, so they get over to this bang. Nice little scenic area, got the old lake in front of it, got a hill you can just sit down on and lay down and just chill. And then you got the airship, so they're like, oh my god, it's so pretty. And then these two guards show. Grisha instantly puts his arm over his sister, yeah, he's like, hi, and then he's like, and then he notices their armbands, your Eldians from Libertas, or Liberto? Something along those lines, it was Liber or something. Liberto. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. And he's like, all right, show me your exit papers, your exit permits. And he's like, and then he goes to his pocket like, fuck. And one thing I gotta say, I love the facial expression. Take a turn. Like, I don't know. Like, tell me down below, guys. What do you think? What series you guys think has better facial feature, facial animation? Attack on Titan or The Promised Neverland? The Promised Neverland, I think, probably has more. I would say more expressive faces or more animated face because they're usually a lot more wild with like their smiles and everything. But here, they're a lot more. I don't know what the word is because if you look at the manga, the manga, you can see the faces in there. The manga honestly isn't that greatly drawn, which I would say probably goes into Attack on Titan's favor. Was when you get to faces because you got so many of these phases of like just where they're not nowhere near as anime, but they have so much more. Just when you just look into their eyes, there's just so much more emotion when you just look into their eyes and just the basic features. So that's why I'd be like, I wonder which one has better facial. I'm like, I think Promised Neverland's probably a lot more expressive, while Attack on Titan's a lot more stoic, I guess. I don't know the right word to describe the facial features or the facial animation when shit is a fan of Attack on Titan, because they can get pretty expressive when you just look into their eyes and just look dead, and it's just crazy, man. I fucking love the series. Anyway, so as I was saying, so you get there, he doesn't have them, and he's like, you know what that means, don't you, kid? He's like, he's like, alright, you want labor or an ass whooping? I'll take the ass whooping, good sir. Alright, and then he tells like, I brought my sister here by force, give me her punishment too. And he's like, alright, and then starts kneeing him in the gut. And he's like, and the other guy's like, oh, come on, man, calm down. And the dude's name is Kruger. Like Freddy Krueger. I laughed myself. I was like, oh, Freddy Krueger. Ha 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 ha. I see you, Attack on Titan mangaka. I see you referencing them slasher villains, which, if I remember correctly, yeah. So this is actually pretty interesting. This guy, so he just knees him in the gut. And then after some time, it looked like the sun was almost setting, at least I think it was. Yeah, I think it pretty much was. Anyway. So we then see, he's still on the ground, holding his stomach, because that dude sounded like he got hit at least 20 times. And then the fat guard over there with that mustache was like, all right, let me take you home, Grisha's sister. So they walked off, while Grisha's getting his ass beat. So after that, he's like, so they managed to get up and he's about to leave. He said he was gonna go home, and the other guard stops, like, wait, stop. You just came here to see the airship. Might as well look at it. Might as well see it. And so then Grisha's like, okay. He sits down and just looks at it. And then we find out the following day that Grisha's sister was killed. Now, I actually didn't notice it the first time when I watched the episode. When I went back and watched it the second time, I noticed that there was a bite mark on Grisha's sister's arm, the one that they showed. I actually didn't catch that on my first viewing of the episode because I was just shocked and like, whoa, they killed his sister, you bastards! I was like, what? She died? Whoa, man, what the hell is going on here? Now, originally when I saw this episode, I thought because I didn't see the bite wound. Originally, I thought that the cause of death might have been a stab, like they might, or I wouldn't say go so far as say they shot him, because if there was, everybody would have heard that, because guns are pretty loud, and we don't know how where the guns are back in this timeline, but if we can guess from the cars, I would say 1920s. I would say around the 1920s, maybe like early 30s. I would have to guess is the time frame Attack on Titan takes place, or at least in that kind of time frame of technology is the 1920s. So by this point, pistols should be pretty good. So I think pistols by this point are pretty much about what we saw them in, which you've guys seen tons of World War movies. Anyway, so they would have been pretty loud if they had used gun. I'm pretty sure even Grisha would have heard that. But I didn't think it was a gun. I legit thought it might have been stabbing, like they stabbed her, or maybe they even waterboarded her. Maybe I don't know. I legit. You know what? I won't even talk about right now. I'll wait till we get to that part of the episode before I just dive into that part on what we found out what was the actual cause of death for Grisha's sister. So then we get back home to Grisha's place. His parents are obviously distraught with grief. And then you got this motherfucker out here. This fat motherfucker be like, oh yeah, I brought her to the gate. Oh yeah, I'm very busy with work and shit. You aliens from Libertas or Libertal or whatever the fuck it's called. You're like, you shouldn't be exploring the city, and now your son is foolish. Doesn't he know what the sins your ancestors committed? How dare you? And if that doesn't make him, I didn't even catch this the first time as well, because I usually go back and rewatch the episode a second time before I review the episode. I didn't notice it the first time, but if you I rarely, if ever, pay attention to the subtitles that are. When there's two subtitles on the screen, one on top, one on the bottom. I always usually focus on the bottom one, not really the top one, because the top one's not really that important. It's just extra details. But the bottom one is where the plot is. That's where the narration. That's where you should be paying attention. I actually didn't catch, so I didn't read the first time. But if you pay attention to the subtitles on top, right when Grisha gives his narration, he says that if that doesn't make your son behave, put a collar on him. Fuck you too, asshole. Jesus Christ. I read that, I was like, holy shit, the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Does he look like a dog to you? Asshole. Yeah, you could make the connection with Nazis for this. or at least how the Jews were treated back in the concentration camps anyway. Anyway, so, and then we get to Grisha's narration. He says that he was lying through his teeth. He was sleeping on the bank. He wasn't busy at all. And that from this day forth, he hated both that man and his father so much that it made him dizzy. And you got Grisha's dad. He's apologizing, like, yes, I'll teach my son I'll show him the error of his ways and everything. He got his eyes closed. While his mom, she's crying, but her eyes are like wide open. She's just sitting there, like almost frozen, as she's like crying with her eyes like open, like wide open. Like it was weird, man. It was crazy. Oh, man. And then we get to see the story of what happened. Now I'm assuming this is what Zeke was referring to when he talked about the era that humans created. That the era that humans did, and then they couldn't learn from it. That's when Zeke said, they wiped all their memories. So, now, I'll talk about that little connection I noticed after I discuss what the actual story was. Also, one other thing I forgot to mention: the other guard that was there with Grisha said that it was smart of him not to remove his armband, because if he did, they would actually be sent off to paradise, even if they're kids. Which paradise? We'll discuss later what that place is. This episode was fucking insane, man. Fucking insane. So, what was this epic sin, this grand cardinal sin, this great sin that they committed that warrants them being treated like the Jews back in the 1940s, stuck in concentration camps? Well, so about 1,700, 1,820 years ago, I think the number was, we found that their ancestor, Ymir Fritz, remember that last name, Ymir Fritz, which I'm pretty sure they're referring to the Ymir we know, the Ymir we got to know back in Season 1 and Season 2. I'm assuming that's the Ymir they're talking about. So they found out that she made contact with the devil of all Earths, gained the power of the Titan. Began tons of ethnic cleansing. She demeaned other races unworthy, inferior. So they did ethnic cleansings. Had these other races bear their children to increase their numbers. This went for 1,200 years and led to the Great Titan War that the other empire, the one that they're living in right now, I forget the name, is slipping my mind right now at the current moment, so apologies for that, won the war, and then they would they were gracious enough to let them live there, because the others flee to this island called Paradise. So they just kind of fled there, and that's where the walls were built, the same walls that we know from the series. So when the Paradise is just an island, that's where all of Attack on Titan has happened, on an island. Anyway, And so, and I love Grisha's narration. First, I gotta say, my God, the animators, Jesus Christ, they deserve a fucking raise. The facial animations, or more or less the eyes. I have to say, like I mentioned before, Promised Neverland probably is more probably far more expressive faces. But my God, can nobody touch Attack on Titan when it comes to the eyes? My gods, they say eyes are the window into the soul. Yep, when it comes to Attack on Titan, that can't be further. That is so true. Because my God, you could take one look at Grisha's eyes, just his overall face, and you could tell you can read him like a book. It's fucking insane, man. So Grisha says, "My dad sure was talkative for someone that just lost their daughter." Ooh, damn, savage, straight up savage. So, so tells him that, and then Grisha's like. And that's what everything that happened was. There's a Titan War, ethnic cleansing, which, granted, I mean, ethnic cleansing is pretty bad, but he says, and then I love this little part here, and I got the voice acting here too. Was fucking fantastic from Grisha's voice actor, his dad's voice actor, fucking fantastic. Grisha's English Japanese voice actor was fucking fantastic. Like, this man was the highlight of the episode, and my God, I can't wait to see all this again in the dub, which will be awesome. I can't wait. Anyway, so we find out from Grisha that what happened. So then he says, like, this is all, he was lying. That was all lies. So he didn't like the truth, so he lied. He's like, shh, the walls are thin here. Shut up. But we did nothing. And he says, I bet he was the one that killed Frey. He says, silence! What's wrong with you? Didn't you just hear what I said? What our ancestors did? He's like, and he just slams his hands against the door. He's like, me and Frey did nothing wrong. We were just walking around. It doesn't matter. We weren't directly involved with the sins, but our ancestors still commit, so we're still guilty of them. Please, do not bring us to the same fate that Frey did, that Frey is. And he says, are you so eager for us to get shipped off to paradise? And he also says, one thing I forgot to mention about the narration, he said that he did his master's command like an obedient dog. So anyway, after that we get a little time skip. We see him working in the fields, and so we're on the fields. And so after that we get to him where he's about 18 years old. He takes over his father's clinic, so we know why he became a doctor. It was because his dad was also a doctor. And so he checks out this other guy, and he's like, hey, what's that little wound you got there on your arm? And he says, it's proof that I'm a patriot. He's like, what? A patriot? What the hell are you talking about? And then he's like, he says, your sister was killed by the military. And he's like, what? There are some things you need to hear. So then we get back to Grisha. He's crying. And we find out what actually happened to his sister. What happened was, her death was anything but quick and painless. She did not get shot. Her neck wasn't snapped. She wasn't waterboarded. She wasn't even stabbed. Oh, no. She was eaten alive by fucking dogs. Yep. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. She was eaten alive by dogs. Yikes. Y'all are some sick motherfuckers, I must say. Y'all are some serious sick motherfuckers. I mean, goddamn. Jesus Christ. Dogs. Fucking dogs. Come on. You couldn't just stab her, slit her throat. You had to get dogs involved. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Motherfuckers. So anyway, after that, he decided, and we also get to see a shot of it. My God. Jesus. I mean, I can only imagine what it looked like in the manga. Anyway, so, oh my God. So we find, so after that, he obviously joins this group, this this little revolutionary group here in Librio, I believe is how you say the name, to take down the Marley government. So he like does the thing over his over like his, I think it was like his right pec. He puts like that little star X in like his chest. So, and then from there we see him kind of just talk about different things. We see him look over at some of the scrolls. Talk about Ymir about their ancestor Ymir, which I gotta say, one thing you guys might know is at least that opening image. It's very similar to the story that Historia's sister told Historia. Obviously, minus all the ethnic cleansing and everything. Which makes me wonder, are there two sides to this story? Is there another part of this, or did she just talk about or maybe my memory just, because I remember, because that same shot, the opening there, was ripped right out. Also, some of the other shot we saw with Ymir in the, Season 3, that's also the girl's name Krista then, which of course, is the name Historia took. So, yeah. My memory serves me correct anyway. Anyway, so, after that, Historia, man, Jesus, this episode, man. So anyway, so they go over there, talks about this other stuff, about, they season the scroll, and they're like, yeah, let's go. And he's like, yeah, you're like, how do you know this is true, man? He's like, yeah, man, I can't decide multiple. He's like, how do you know this is true then? He's like, oh, because this is our ancestor. She did this. This was also, it has to be true. And then we also found there's an informant within them in the military called the Owl, which we'll talk more about him later. And so then he says, we sent in another girl. Her name is also slipping in my mind at the current moment, but her last name was also Fritz. And correct me if I'm wrong, Fritz is Historia's last name. So, I'm curious if that means him and Ymir, Chris, and Historia are related. Because they both share the same last name, Fritz, if my memory serves me correct. So, I wonder where all this is going to lead, man. And I think now, knowing all these extra details, and we'll now understand why. I think we now get a better understand why Grisha did what he did back at the first half of Season 3 when we got that little, flashback to what he did where he got the Time Shifter powers, he killed everyone, minus Historia's dad. So, anyway. So they get the girl in there. I legit at first I thought she looked very familiar to me. Like at first I thought maybe she might have been Annie, but no, she ain't Annie. But she did look very familiar. I think it was because she looked a little bit like Historia. So that's probably what I got, because she kind of looked a little bit. She looks as if it looks a little bit like Historia, but much older, very much older. So they get over there. She talks, since she is part of the royal family, she knows things about Titans that these people don't. It's a break they need to finally take down the government. So she would tell them about the books and everything. And then once they're like, yeah, we're gonna take, and then they bring up the power that I think they said the Grand Titan has, or the King of Titans, or the Founding Titan has, which is the Scout ability, or whatever that ability is that Eren has, where he can control all the Titans to do his bidding. As we know, Eren has that ability. So they're going to look over for that ability so that they can take over the government. Interesting, very interesting. So we now know kind of the backstory about that one. And now I think it's even more clear why Bertolt said back a few episodes back, like, you're all are not dead. And I love he also said, are we all just... And I remember when Armin said, are we all just like little devils? Or like devils? That foreshadowing, though, was oh my god. The manga for Attack on Titan is fucking genius, man. But now it makes so much more sense why Reiner, or I should say Bertolt, said, no, it's nothing that you're bad people, you just have to die. It all makes sense now. Everything now makes sense. Man, do I love a good reveal. Anyway. So they get over there, and so eventually, he tells them that. She starts crying, hugs him. They find out, then the end of 2 years, I think it's like 2 years later, they get married, and then they have a kid. The kid's name is Zeke. Yes! Kono Diuda! Yes, Zeke, the guy we know that's the Beast Titan, is Grisha's son. Eren's half-brother. So I was partially right with my theory. My little joke there is that, like, oh, what what if Zeke is Aaron's real dad or something? Do you remember when I said that? I was like, because I just saw that shot with Zeke turning into Grisha, and I knew, or dissolving into Grisha, or fading to Grisha. I was like, there has to be something with that, and they're actually brothers, or that they're father and son. So Aaron and Zeke are half brothers. Woo, baby! This series just keeps getting crazier and crazier, man. So anyway, they get it, so they have the kid Zeke, and everything's all fine and dandy. And then we find out that Marley is looking for members or supporters or people of Ymir or ancestors of Ymir to use as Marley warriors. Warriors. That should be a very familiar term to you, as we know. Bertolt, Reiner, and Zeke refer to themselves, and Ymir and Annie they refer to themselves. Jesus, I can't speak. Refer to themselves as warriors. So now we know. So these guys are all working for Marley, the Marley government. Wow. And so then we get, and so after that, we get over back to the underground place, and we see a bunch of familiar faces. We see. So they're like, and we find out that they're making a move, and that the owl says we're making, so they're preparing for a struggle for resources. They tell us that that there's a huge deposit of fossil fuels underneath Paradise, but it's been too long. The days are gone where they can ignore it. But the founding titan, or the king of the titans, or the king of the that's inside the walls. And we also see actually how the walls were built actually when what's her name comes when Grisha's or Zeke's mother find out from her. We find out that she actually we find out how the Titans created, so how the wall was created. Which when I saw that, that was like really weird. That was really I don't know the exact word for this, but it was weird when it was weird that we finally see how the walls were built. All we had it was like a bunch of Titans that were locked arm in arm, and we just see the wall, and we just see them become the wall. It's crazy. It was crazy. It was surreal. It was surreal. It was so surreal seeing that, man. Yeah. And this series, my God. Anyway. So they tell us. So then they say, we have a chance. We have one option left. We turn my son Zeke into a Marley warrior. I don't know what the hell their plan of thinking was. I'm thinking they were just going to turn him into they were thinking that he might turn into a Titan shifter, and then they'll just have him take care of it. I don't really understood what his line of thinking was for this, honestly. So then, literally, Grisha dumps all of this right on Zeke about everything, everything is wrong, and this and that, and you were the one that's gonna save Eldia, and I'm like, and then Zeke's face, he's just like, okay, I understand. And I love how we just fade from Zeke to Grisha. I love that shot, man. And Grisha looks exactly like, or Zeke looks exactly like Grisha, just with blonde hair. Fucking fantastic, man. It's crazy. So we find out. So then after that, oh man. So after that, we find out he's like, I, as if anyone should have known not to. He uses some word I've never heard of, but I'm assuming it means force your beliefs onto your son. And then when we get fade back to when Zeke's shot, we see his dad just putting his book right in front of him. He's telling him about the sins that their ancestors committed. And so yeah, crazy stuff, man, crazy. And so we find out that Zeke actually betrayed them, where instead of he actually to protect himself as well as his grandparents. I don't know why his grandparents fought. Maybe because they're part of the royal family and they wanted to keep everything hush-hush or some shit. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, he ends up turning in his parents. Yes, his full parents get turned into the police or to the government, and then we then go after the commercial break. We get that little card that shows what's available for public knowledge, about the humans inside the walls. we see the blindfold taken off of Grisha, and he's on Paradise, and we see the desert, sand, and from here the episode just gets batshit insane. Like, it was one reveal after the other. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So after Grisha gets the blindfold up, everything, he sees the desert, sees everything. There's a bunch of other people that are lining up right in front of him. He says, you're all going, and that this is where you're going to live out the rest of your life sentence as a pure Titan. Oh my god. So, and then we see Grisha's hands. His fingers are completely gone. This man got no fingers. Nothing. They gone. And y'all remember when the military police ripped off the priest's fingernails? Well, now these motherfuckers took it one step further. We're gonna get rid of the whole finger. And so they were interrogating Grisha. He was like, well, who is the owl? What is it? Who's the owl? Who's the owl? Who's the owl? It's like, please, I don't know. That's all I said. It's the truth. And then we see Kruger just sitting there in the back, just chill, watching on. And then, so from there, we see one of his other friends, Grace. And then the commander. We see the commander. And it's that same fat slob with the mustache that fed Grisha's sister Faye to the dogs. Grisha recognizes him, obviously. And he also recognizes Kruger, who was sitting right in front of him. Or right behind him, I should say. And so then he says, and then he's like, just like, oh, please, no, think about Titan, just kill me, why Titan? And so then we see them all put like the Titan, and he like takes off his blindfold, and he's like, what the hell's happening? I should never trusted you, yada yada yada. So he's like, oh yeah, you're free to go. Pushes him off the wall, sends him sliding down the desert, and tells him, run straight north, and you might make it to the walls. And one of the guys is like, Captain, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, new here, rookie. All right. So you see with these guys, you gotta let one of them walk so the Titans will chase after them, so they leave the area. And so what they did, Jesus, oh man, so they turn all the guys into Titans minus Grisha, and they kick them all down to the ground, and they all transform. Some of them might look a little familiar. There was an old dude with a beard. I think these were Titans from season 1. Season 1 Titans these were. I think. I could be wrong because I know they saw that bearded one. I'm pretty sure that bearded one was from season 1, if I remember correctly. So. Oh my. So yeah, that was just the first one. I was like, oh shit, we saw some familiar faces. And then we see Grisha's wife, Nina. She is going to become a Titan. And then she's like, and so he's like saying like, yo, what are you doing? She's royal. And he says she's royalty. Well, before he doesn't get off royalty, Kruger puts his hand on the mount and slams it to the ground. And he's like, is he trying to cover it up? He's like, man, he's a talkative one. Why don't you just turn into a Titan? Because Kruger told him, like, let's leave this one out. I want to interrogate him a little bit more. Leave him. And so once you see Dinah, she says, so they get the incision inside of her, and she says, no matter what form I take, I will find you. Well, she wasn't wrong. She did. In a way, I mean, she did raid Aaron's house and kill his other wife. Man, I didn't women, man. I could make some edgy joke right now about women fighting over a man, and one of them actually dies, but hey, I'll refrain when I don't really got anything that comes off the top of my head right now. I'll let y'all decide jokes. I'll let y'all have that joke. Anyway, so she gets turned out, so she gets thrown off, and then we see, and it's revealed. She is, well, not yet. You could probably guess by this point, but you don't get a clear enough view of her Titan form. But then we see Aaron. He wakes up from a dream, or he wakes up tearing. He's like, "Where am I? Who am I? Who am I?" And then you got Armin, and then you got Mikasa. Jesus Christ, this woman's hair! Her hair is all fucked up. And then Armin tells, like, you're inside prison cell, you're serving your time for insubordination, which I actually didn't catch it the first time when I watched the episode. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Why the hell are they in prison? They're serving the time for the insubordinate to happen with season 3 when they decided to give the syringe to Armin. So then Armin's like, hey man, what's up? You said, who am I? And then Mika says, like, are you crying, Eren? And he's like, I feel like I woke up from the longest dream of my life. No, they were memories. I was connected to my father's memories. It was you, Dinah. And then we see Eren's face fade into his father's face. Great shit, man. Cinematography here is fucking fantastic, man. I absolutely loved it. So then we is revealed to indeed be the smiling type, Dinah. Grisha's first wife is the smiling Titan. The Titan that was the catalyst for Eren. Everything that has been leading Eren to this point has been because of the smiling Titan killing his mom. The irony in that. Someone so close to Eren that ended up killing his mom. And we also see this one shot. Oh, and I mentioned, like, when they were also talking about the letter, they also showed the shot that's ripped right from the second ED of Attack on Titan. Forgot that, or season 2 ED. So I had to throw that in there. I forgot to mention that one. But yeah, you guys already saw my cold opening about the irony in that one and just everything. Like, I mean, I know women will face the fire for a man, but I didn't think one of them would kill them over it. There's your joke. Anyway. So, yeah, she is revealed to be the smiling Titan, and she runs off. And walks off. She's like, oh, she's already forgotten about you. I guess she fancies the other guy. Then he's like, shut up. And they tell them that you were the man 15 years ago that killed my sister and fed them to the dogs. And he says, I'll take this one off your hands. You leave. And he's like, well, what's going on? He said, he's probably going to play around with them. Best you leave it at that. And so the other guy gets turned to a Titan, very familiar face as well. And then he's about to go over there and he's going to throw Grisha overboard. He's like, oh, say, you ought to join your friends. Your hits are so grand. You ought to join them. Elsie, hear that? I hear your sister calling. And yeah, dude's being absolute out. Then out of nowhere, Kruger comes out of nowhere and pushes the commander off the stage, and he falls and then is eaten by a Titan. Satisfying as hell, his death was. And so then we see that Kruger is indeed the owl. It is revealed that he is the owl. He cuts his hand open and it's revealed that he's a Titan shifter. And that is where the episode ends. The next episode for you is going to continue with, like, we're probably going to find out what happened with Grisha, how he lost his memories, how he ended up facing up against, the Frakes family, what happened everything in the first half of season 3. Everything is probably going to get revealed next week, or at least more of it. So, yeah. This is a fucking masterpiece. I love this series. I can't wait for more. This is goddamn fantastic, man. And like I mentioned before, the smiling Titan being Eren's, I guess, half mom. I don't even know really I would classify what she would classify in this family tree. But yeah, man, crazy. I was not expecting that, man. I was not expecting it to be revealed that Eren's dad, Dinah, Eren's or Grisha's first wife, ended up being the one that killed Eren's mom. This is fantastic, man. This is fucking phenomenal. I love this series. This anime's a fucking masterpiece, man. Anyway, I'm rambling off long enough. This video is nearly 50 fucking minutes. Jesus Christ. I did not expect this review to go that long. I swear this is probably my longest review in my history. I don't know if I'll ever top this. Anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. As always, come back for more. See you guys, and also, my final verdict is indeed a 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, see you guys next time.
静かに静かに静かに